Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syed Kamil bin Syed HAMDAN. Today I'm going to discuss about the topic the rise of non-traditional trade security, which is COVID-19. As we know, in 21st century, all countries around the world was shaken by the new pandemic that was affecting many people around the world and being recorded as the worst pandemic in human history disease since the Black Death pandemic in 1346. For years, foresight experts have been warning about the potential emergence of a pandemic, while public health experts have been calling the attention of the international community to the dangerous security impact of global outbreak. The pandemic is the harbinger of a security landscape marked by the rise of a non-traditional security threat. COVID-19 is the template for what lies ahead, that is, unless we take an action. The sooner we understand the fundamental transformation ahead of us, the sooner we can adapt our concept and institution to guarantee the safety of people, states, and the international community. So, what are the forms of a non-traditional security threat? According to the Meli Caballero Anthony, non-traditional security threat may be defined as challenge to the survival and well-being of people and states that arise primarily out of the non-military sources, such as climate change, cross-border environmental degradation and resource depletion, infectious disease, and natural disaster. Non-traditional security threat consists of three characteristics. The first one is they are stateless, which is born out of a symbiosis of systemic factors. The second is they must be transnational, whereby their effect spill over borders, even if their causes may be localized. And the final characteristic is they have non-military origin. When COVID-19 hit, it presents a stark reminder that insecurity is a global affair. In just over 6 months, the pandemic affected 215 countries and territories, while also showing that non-military security challenges can permit the artificial dividing line between developed and developing countries. While historically developing countries were considered to be a fertile breeding ground for such issues due to state weakness and inability to provide public services, COVID-19 has turned that logic on its head, making the impact visible everywhere from Washington to Seoul. COVID-19 can be a bleak template of how non-traditional security threats ravage the international system. Without action, we may see the future a worrying pattern of extensive loss of life, compounded subsequent shock, and even outright conflict. In 2015, regional events like the migration flow to Europe during 2015 until 2016 from the Middle East and North Africa was arguably a key factor in social polarization and the renaissance of the extreme right to places like Germany, France, Poland, and Hungary. Today, the pandemic is leaving in its wake one of the worst economic crises since the Great Depression. Continued levels of low growth combined with high level of unemployment can be a recipe for rising populism and further political fallout in the new decade. To create an alternative future, we need to expand our security concept, adapt our institutions, and support international state and sub-state cooperation. First, we should develop and implement more holistic concepts and benchmarks for the security. The coronavirus pandemic has proven yet again that simply defining security as the absence of conflict is not enough. Researchers should integrate human well-being factors into their analytical framework. At the policy level, more collaboration among the development and security communities is fundamental. Our metrics and indicators should also follow suit, capturing nuanced cross-field data to assess security or the lack of the thereof. For the second way is that from an institutional perspective, the military need not be primarily responsible for managing the rise of non-traditional threats, even if they pose security concerns. If policymakers focus on addressing this type of threat at their root, they can be tackled before escalating into outright conflict. With this approach, the solution lies in enhancing civil-military cooperation and increasing domestic and foreign investment in human capacity building. And finally, the nationalist lens through which COVID-19 was managed need not be the approach we should espouse moving forward. Global cooperation is essential in managing and preventing non-traditional threats, since the effect concerns broad coalition of countries. There is immense potential for sub-state level cooperation, building up local expertise. Putting people first is a strategic and moral way ahead, and on the only way to ensure sustainable security. That's all from me. Thank you.